The slut versus the stud conundrum. Why is it that when guys can bang a bunch of bitches, we're called studs, but when women bang a bunch of dudes, they're called sluts? It is the age-old discussion. The panel discusses next. The Four Horsemen of Game starts right now. What's up, guys? It's your man, Donovan Sharpe, and welcome to this edition of the Four Horsemen of Game. Thank you guys all very much for tuning in this evening. Obviously, we are down a regular member, as many of you guys. Oops. Okay, never mind. Okay, as many of you guys know, Minister Jap had a birthday this weekend. And Minister Jap does what people who have birthdays do, and he went hard. He went so hard, probably not a good idea to have him on today, but we wish Jap a happy birthday and a speedy recovery. Let us go ahead and introduce tonight's esteemed panel. First up, it is the man, the myth, the legend. It is Miles Cunningham. What's going on, brother?
Hey, what's up, Donovan? Thanks for having me. Shout out to Miami J and Coach EO. Shout out to the chat. Everybody tuning in. Appreciate you guys. Let's get it, man. All right,
let's do it. Second, and certainly not the least, it is the best dressed and best smelling man on the panel. It's Coach EO. So what are you wearing tonight?
Yeah, well, thanks for asking that. Tonight I'm wearing my fragrance. So if you guys are not familiar with this line yet, it's coming out in about 10 days. We started a pre-sale already, but tonight I'm wearing Mr. Sensual.
I love it,
just
dude.
learned
awesome.
Miles Cunningham picked up a bottle from me, so that's
yes, sir.
Up. Appreciate you, fam. Man, get this in your rotation if you're a fragrance wearer. This is great for a date night. It's got leather, cherry. It's got a great incense note.
Oh,
so this
wow.
is something very different. But for those close encounters, man, you're really going to make a statement. So head over to collection.com. Thank you, guys.
Collection.com. Guys, be sure to get over there. Our guest panelist tonight, filling in for Minister Jap, is someone I've known longer than anybody. That, of course, is Miami J. So Miami J, it's funny, Miami J has known me since episode 2. And right after we're done here on the Four Horsemen of Game, we are going to head over to Miami J's channel, and I'm going to be a guest panelist on the Dating Dynamics podcast that he runs every Sunday, usually between 8 and 8:30, depending upon what he's doing. But it's good to have you on the pod. What's going on with you?
Well, thank you for having me, man. It's an honor to be here, sharing this esteemed panel. And, let's get it.
Let's do it. By the way, what are we talking about on tonight's panel?
Oh, so tonight, here, my bad. This panel.
No. Tonight, your panel. No, yours.
Oh, my panel.
Yes.
Well, we're going to be talking about acceptable relationship behaviors.
Acceptable relationship behaviors. And now, are you going to have girls on this time too?
There will be. There's a good friend of mine. Her name is Sarah. She'll be there. So
very good. I'm gonna tell you what, man. There is nothing more exciting and invigorating than debating relationships with girls. It's always a lot of fun. EO, have you done Fresh and Fit After Hours yet?
I've not been over there yet.
Oh my God, dude, Miles, I know you've done it before, right?
I need to go.
Dude, listen, Fresh and Fit After Hours is it's a fucking blast. It is absolutely a rush, man. It's, I don't know. I can't really explain it, but it's a lot of fun. Myron runs a very tight ship. Fresh he is every bit as happy-go-lucky as you think he is. And so, we got to get you down there, EO. We got to get you down there to Miami, because I think it would do not only a lot for your brand. I think it would get a lot more. I think it would get you the eyeballs that you deserve. So, sure. I'll put in a call to Mr. Gaines. All right, so tonight we are going to talk about the slut versus stud conundrum. Now, everybody seems to have a different opinion or different talking points on the slut versus the stud conundrum. We've all heard the age-old question. Why is it that when men can sleep around, they're called studs, but when women sleep around, they're called sluts? And there are many different answers, lines of thought, et cetera, et cetera. Let's go around the panel here. And by the way, guys, Miami J is having some he is having some audio issues. He'll be working on that as the pod goes on. So when he's talking or about to talk, just turn your volumes up a little bit more, and hopefully he'll have that resolved here shortly. Miles, what are your initial thoughts on the stud versus slut conundrum? Because the only people that really seem to have a problem with this quote unquote double standard are women. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, another sector that has a problem with this double standard is men who don't get women as easy as the guys on this panel.
There you go.
Because it just so happens that the characteristics of men who find it hard to deal with women are a lot like women. You understand? Because we all know opposites attract. So when you're the same, you kind of repel. But
okay.
The way I see it is this: guys are kind of envious of women because sex comes to them so easy.
Yes.
The average guy, the guy who has trouble dealing with women, relating to women, and getting the amount and the quality of sex that he wants.
Right.
He has trouble relating to women, and so he begins to envy the ease at which they receive offers for sex.
Right.
And so they have to name call. They have to call women sluts. They have to look down on women. They have to.
Okay.
But the sad part is that very insecurity is what keeps them from being able to get as many women as they really want.
Okay.
Because if the more you shame a woman, is the more a woman she's not going to be willing to open up to you.
No.
She's the one that's going to give you the excuse of, well, I see you as a friend. I don't really want to ruin what we have right now. And the reason why she says that is because I see you're already doing so much for me. You understand? You're paying my house, you're picking me up from the airport, and you're helping me buy groceries. You're also paying my phone bill.
Right.
Why would I have sex with you and then ruin all that? I'd rather you continue to be stuck in the friend zone and continue to, have this high opinion of me because you don't think I have sex that much. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and then on the flip side, a guy is called a stud because generally, with the same, thought in society, is that it's a little bit harder for guys to actually get as much sex as they want.
Of course.
So if a guy can get as much sex as he wants, then he's considered a stud. And then there's also, there's statistics and there's other things, but it's believed in general that there is a small sector of guys that get all the women, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and those are the guys that are considered studs.
Okay.
And in a lot of cases, when you break down the numbers on the dating apps and so on and so forth, a lot of this can be true.
Of course.
But I'm here, like, me as a person who talks about game and identity and understanding how to create the type of personality that can be attractive.
Mm-hmm.
I believe a man can turn himself into a stud. That's what I believe.
Oh, totally.
If he believes in his identity, then you can also be a stud. But the thing is that the stud label is like placed majestically on only certain types of men.
Right.
And I think that's a part of the mistake. So it's like a double standard for women because of the insecurities of men, and then it's also a double standard for certain type of guys. Mm-hmm. The insecurities of the average man. You see what I'm saying? I like what you said before I go to EO. I really like what you said about the fact that men call women sluts. Typically, it's the type of men who generally are very bad with women. Men who are good with women also call women sluts. But here's the difference. We don't hate women. There are a lot of men who hate women because they simply cannot fuck them. I'm not here to pass judgment on those guys because it's like, and don't get me wrong, man, those guys are certainly flawed and all that good stuff, but it can be a miserable existence not being able to be attractive to the women that you want to be attractive to. But by the same token,
you know, it's a two-way street. Like you have to be able to bring value to some degree. And what it really comes down to, EO, and I'll come to you with this, is that the reason, and Miles made the perfect point, it's easy for women to come by sex. All they have to be is there and willing. It's not easy. Dude, every one of us has massive experience with women, but every one of us knows that that's not easy. And I think women want to be praised. They think they want to be praised or not admonished for doing what's easy. Being a slut is, all a woman has to do is decide to be a slut, and she can be a slut. You can decide to be a stud or a player all you want to, but at the end of the day, you got work to put in. And if you're not willing, right, and if you're not willing to put in the work, then you really can't complain. So let me ask you, let me go to EO with this. What do you think about, because with you, EO, you say it begins and ends with the man. And a lot of people feel some type of way about what you say, what Miles says, and what Lucario says. You three in particular, you guys put the onus on men. Yeah, you know, women out here ain't shit, and you know they're out here being hoes and doing this and that. But if you're not standing on your square, like Steve the Dean says, if you're not standing on your last name, if you don't really know and believe in who you are, if you're not always improving, then you really have no one to blame but yourself. So what would you say to guys, EO, who are having a hard time with women but find themselves maybe delving into maybe woman hating, like true misogyny?
Well, there is one point I want to make before I answer that question, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Really, no one should know how many women you've been with anyway.
Right.
You know, I always say that a man is discreet, you know, so when a woman assumes based on maybe how you act, how you move, how you look, how women observe you, because women are always watching to see,
of course,
okay, how do other women look at this guy? And so, and based on, you know, just how you speak and everything, how you know, your actions, she will assume you have women. Maybe you're like a player, or you know, or you've been with a lot of women, but you shouldn't tell her that you have. I mean, I think that's just none of her business. And I just feel like, you know, say, hey, listen, it's you and me tonight. Let's not focus on the women that I have or don't have, you know? And so I think if people were more discreet, you'd be judged less. So I would say that to men and women, you know, how you market yourself, man, when people see that you're a walking billboard. So, you know, what you're showing people is how you're going to be assessed. And so, and for men, I would tell you this, if you get women, real players don't tell their business. Oh yeah. I made a video on that. And if you notice guys that are always talking about how many women they slept with, those guys probably haven't slept with as many women as they say. And that's my opinion. And if they have, it was short-lived. It was circumstantial. Like they're usually good at pulling, but not good at managing. And I noticed that about guys that have a high body count. They can pull, but they can't manage. And a lot of the time, you're just getting a woman based on how drunk she was that night. You know, and how upset she is that maybe her boyfriend broke up with her. So it was circumstantial and situational why you got her in the first place.
The stars align, basically.
Can manage women, if you could manage women and keep women on your roster and keep them dedicated to you. Now, in my book, that you're a man that knows what he's doing. What I would say to guys that can't, they're having a difficult time with women is give it a little time. Mm-hmm. If you're 22 years old, I think you're an extended teenager at that age. Yeah. You're not quite even a man yet. I don't think you're really stepping into manhood, or at least you should be stepping into manhood. I mean, until about 25. I mean, you're still immature at 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. 25, I think you kind of enter a new territory. And so just because you may not be successful yet, that doesn't mean you won't be successful in a couple of years. There you go. Put your career first. I will tell you, put your career first. Make your money first. Not so you can spend it on them or so you can showboat, just so you could be a self-sufficient man. Women are always attracted to men that are like rocks.
Right, of course.
So if your credit is good, you're self-sufficient. And I would even say you're a free thinker to some degree. Free thinkers are very attractive. And so focus on yourself, and then it'll come hopefully in time. But if you get stuck down a certain path, a dark path of, hating yourself, hating women, and if you stay on that road too long, I don't think you can mentally sometimes come back. There you go. So be careful. Get the game from the red. Listen, I don't claim to be red pill. However, I don't disrespect it, but I don't use that. Okay. But I don't need to disrespect it either. Sure. But at the same time, if you're gonna find a red pill content creator, or Miles, or this gentleman here, JJ Dating, or myself, give us a listen. If it works, and try to implement some of the things that we teach you. If it works for you, stick with it, make it your own. If it doesn't work for you, though, appreciate the information and move forward.
Wow, very well said. We could end it right there if we really had to. So Trey Houston in the chat says a stud is born, not created. So I understand where he's coming from that regard. When we say stud, we're not talking about an animal, okay? Because in the animal kingdom, a stud horse is a stud horse. Like, there are some horses that are born that are just genetically gifted. They go off, they win the Kentucky Derby. Then after maybe they finish fourth in the Preakness, you're a Kentucky Derby winner. Then they retire him, and then they take him to see the ladies. So we're not talking about a stud in that regard. What I want Trey Houston to understand is that the terminology we use, it's just shorthand for men who are good at attracting women. So if that's what that's stud versus slut, linguistically, vernacularly, it's similar. That's why we use that word. But really what we're talking about are men who are good with women. Then there's something else that Trey Houston said that I do agree with. He says, never listen to a Chad trying to tell you how to get women. So I think what Trey Houston thinks, he thinks that we're all Chads up here, and we are. But here's the difference: we weren't born as Chads, right? I think Trey Houston thinks that we've always been swimming. No, I did not, dude. I didn't solve women until I was 32. I didn't solve women until I was 32 years old, man. I think a lot of the outsiders, they come in here and they think that we've always been good with women. No, never listen to never listen to your handsome friends about how to attract women. Never listen to I've got one of my best friends. His name is Josh. Tall, he's 6'4", blonde hair, blue eyes. Basically every white girl, every white slut's dream. Like, girls throw pussy at him when he's asleep. He's one of the few men I know who opens his phone and he gets hit in the face. He gets hit in the face with all the peaches coming out of his screen. Those men are few and far between. And I do not listen to him about how to get women because he doesn't know how to attract them in such a way that keeps them around. No, like me, myself, I was never good with women until I found this community. Same with Joel. So same with EO, and same with Miles. So I want guys to understand that when you listen to the kinds of things that we talk about, just understand we're speaking from experience. What we all have in common is that all of us were once men who were not good with women. We figured it out, and now we want to help you guys figure it out. So Miami J, the stud versus slut conundrum. Do you think it's a double standard, or what are your thoughts on this?
I think it's more of a different standard. Women always love to equate themselves to men. It never really works out that way. It's just not like that. We are different. Myron Gaines says it all the time.
Yep.
Men and women are different. We hold ourselves to a different standard. Now, a guy who continuously gets in and out of relationships every 2 weeks with a different girl.
Yep.
That guy's a slut.
Okay, there we go.
That guy, that's the equivalent.
That's the female version.
Exactly.
Yeah, listen, what Joel just said, he's right. A female version of a slut is a woman who has fucked 5 guys in 5 weeks. A male version of a slut who has had 5 girlfriends in 5 weeks. The woman gives away the pussy. That's easy for her to give away. The man gives away his commitment. That's easy to give away. And you think about it this way. I didn't mean to steal Miami J's thunder here, but sluts, on either end are not respected. If a woman gives up the butt too easily, we as men, we'll keep her around for a while. We'll have fun with her, but we're not taking her serious for long-term commitment because we knew she gave up the butt. In our minds, we think to ourselves, well, how many other guys did she give up the butt to on the first date? On the woman's side, if after the first date, the guy wants to introduce you to his mother and call his girlfriend, the girl says, I don't respect him because he gave away his commitment too easily. Sure, I'll keep him around for a little while and he'll take me to dinner and he'll show me off and he'll take me on trips, but I'm not taking this guy seriously for long-term, for not even short-term commitment. She's never going to sleep with that guy. So that's the difference. That's the difference between a male and a female slut. Please continue, Miami Jam.
No, I wanted to bolster what Coach EO said, and it's about this community. I don't think anybody watching this right now or anybody on this panel, and if I'm wrong, please correct me, none of us are here because we were born good with women.
Right.
We all have to learn it.
Right.
I mean, like I said, those guys, and my best friend is that way too. Those guys that are born that way, they don't need to come find this content.
No.
They don't need to come find this community. And I look at myself, I started out as a listener of yours, Donovan.
Yes.
And I don't consider myself an expert, and I'm not top 1% yet. I am working on it. But
dude, well, hold on. Hold on. Let me give you some credit. You live in a really nice place in Miami. You have a motorcycle and a really cute dog. I think that makes you a top 1%er.
hey, I just happen to find the cheat code.
The cheat code. Dude, his fucking dog is fucking adorable. Oh my God.
He is cool. He rides a motorcycle. If you haven't seen it, by the way,
dude.
I do have a shameless plug. I do have a motorcycle YouTube channel. It's
Yes.
305 Rider. If anybody's interested in that, please look it up.
His dog is the cheat code. Like he's got the dog with the little motorcycle goggles. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Now I'm trying to give this dude my number, and I'm a goddamn dude. Who knew?
But yeah, no, that was my point. I mean, it's a different standard because it's just different. Men and women are just different.
Yep.
Feminists and women always try to equate it.
Yep.
And the guys who can't get women always try to equate it, but they're very, very different.
Yep. This to me, and you nailed it on the head. It's not a double standard, it's a different standard. Here's an example of a sexual double standard. You have two women. One is 25, the other is 25. One woman sleeps around indiscriminately. The other one does not sleep around indiscriminately, right? So the double standard would be, let's say both of them slept around indiscriminately. The double standard would be slut shaming Sally, but then praising Sarah about all the guys she can attract. That is literally the double standard. The conditions for a double standard to be a double standard is that the conditions have to be the same on both sides. Now, our detractors would say, well, wait a minute, there's sex on both sides. Maybe, but we're not the ones who enforce the different standard. It's actually the women. Most slut shaming comes from women. That's what it comes down to. Sex affects women differently than it affects men. Men are very different from men in many other ways. Women respond to sex in different ways than men respond to sex. It's very easy for women to get sex. It's very hard for men to get sex. Those are very different circumstances. As such, it is not a double standard because the situation is different on each side. The only way it can be a double standard is if the circumstances are identical on each side. On one side, sex is easier than breathing. On the other side, it's very hard to come by sex. So when women say, oh, why are we, it's not fair that we're shamed for sleeping around, but men aren't. Okay, life isn't fair, but guess what? Here's another thing that's not fair. It's not fair that the average 18-year-old girl can pretty much date, marry, fuck whoever she wants. The average 18-year-old man, probably a virgin. That's the way it is. Life ain't fair, ladies. And if you don't want to be shamed for being a slut, then quit sucking dick. EO, what do you got?
Yeah, you know what? I will say this, though. Women that haven't had a lot of sexual experience are usually dumped or cheated on.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So I actually prefer a woman to have had some slutty experience.
Yeah, of course.
Now, if you've had 100 of them, I mean, that's a lot of baggage, a lot of memories. That's a lot of memories. I made a broadcast the other day. You want a girl coming in with an overnight bag or 20 briefcases? I'd rather have the chick with an overnight bag because it's just less for me to funnel through.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah. But I will say this though, I think it's okay if a woman was in some relationships,
sure,
and she was in a relationship with a guy that maybe had some game, knew what he was doing, and he turned her out a little bit, because then I can take those skills and whatever else she learned and leverage it myself. So I will say, I don't want a girl that comes in the door and she don't know anything. And so again, some experience is good. I even think sometimes if a man stays a slut for too long, he's going to pay for it later.
I agree.
He kind of hits the wall too.
Yep.
He gets jaded. And I even think sometimes he even is no longer the catch he once was. And now he's going to be desperate looking for a woman and shit. Like, damn, I used to have the bitches, but now no bitches are looking for me. I fucking, smoked all my lungs up. I drank. I look like shit. I got lines all over my face. I don't have a lot of money either because I've been partying my shit away. I haven't been investing in myself and in some business. So, you got to be careful too, men, not to be a slut too long either. So I say go through a season or two of getting out there and getting some experience. I say men and women both, this is essential, but then you got to know when to get out.
Dude, I could not have said that any better. Let me go to Miles Cunningham next with this, because what EO just said was compelling. You absolutely, it is not uncommon. How can I put this? A lot of people think that that men who don't get pussy are jaded. And what a lot of men like us come to realize and understand is the reason we are jaded is because we got all the pussy. It's opposite ends of the spectrum. Guys who are virginal, they are jaded because they don't get any. Guys like us, when you fuck enough broad, you learn what women are really all about, and it's very sobering. And I'll be honest with you, this is actually a moment of truth for me. I might have crossed that point of no return when I was in Vegas. I might be jaded by women so much that I might not fully appreciate the woman that I'm with now. And I mean, that's just keeping it real. And I'm jaded to the point to where everything my default is to think, okay, this is negative. She's a slut. She's cheating. She's whatever. But a lot of guys don't realize that if you are a player for too long, it can and will fuck with you mentally. So that's a very good point that EO just made. Not a lot of people usually make that point. I'm sorry, Miles, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I just with everything that's been said, is especially a lot of the points that EO made and some of the points that you made, Donovan. The thing with studs and sluts that I would like to point out is that the idea of a stud or a slut can be akin to an addict.
Ooh. Right? Wow. Okay.
And what I want to say with that idea is that a lot of us as people are doing things for the wrong reasons.
Okay.
Right? Where there are a lot of women out there that are fucking a whole lot of dudes. And it's not because they want to fuck a whole lot of dudes.
Right? There you go.
It's because they're trying to find something in the sex that they can't find in real life. So
Boom.
Either they're trying to find the love of their father that they never had.
Yep.
Either they're trying to find somebody to care about them. Either they're trying to find some type of self-love that they can build upon from the sex that they're having.
Right.
But the truth is that we should, whatever it is we choose to do, we should choose to do it because we like to do the thing that we're choosing to do.
Right.
Not because we're trying to fulfill some other emotional lack or absence that we are missing. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
And I think that a lot of times when we call women or men sluts, that's a big part of it, because the truth is that they're addicted to something about sex that almost has nothing to do with sex.
Wow. Yeah.
And they, because like EO said, like you go past and like you said, Donovan, you go past the point of no return where you become jaded and you have this skewed perspective of your relation to the opposite sex.
Yeah, man.
You've done so much and you weren't true to your intentions. You understand?
Yep.
And then on the flip side with the whole stud character, it's that, or the whole stud label is like, well, I because you brought it up a little bit too when you was talking about the horses that they put out to stud. It's like, well, is that your only purpose, my brother?
Right. Right.
Is the fortitude of your penis, of your sexual prowess, is that the only thing that you have to offer to this world? And if that's the truth, if that's the only way that you can relate to this world, then there's something wrong. Because
I agree.
I'm saying, there's so much more that we have to work on as men to become the type of man that is actually attractive.
Right.
Because it's one thing to be a stud where women just like you because they find you sexually attractive.
Right.
But another thing to be a man. You understand? And
Yeah.
be able to be more to more people. Because, I mean, you can be sexually attractive, but you can also be attractive in the mind. You could be a good businessman. You can be a good leader. You understand? Because it's one thing for a woman to want to, have sex with you, one night stand.
Sure.
Or she might even fuck you for a couple of weeks, but she'll
Sure.
never call you again after that point. But it's another thing to be a leader. It's another thing for a woman to recognize, oh shit, I can actually learn something from this dude.
Yep.
Have a comfortable, secure life and get good dick.
Shit. Sign me up.
Like it's a whole nother level. And a lot of guys, they get stuck in the stud or the slut paradigm, and it's all because they never approached sex because sex was the thing they liked. They were trying to find something else within the sex that's not really there.
Trey Houston in the chat says, Donovan, I got timed out by a moderator for no reason. He attacked me by calling me hive mind and black pill, and I thanked you for not allowing his censorship. That's out of line. No, Trey Houston, I timed you out. And the reason I timed you out is for you going at my moderators. look, I understand that we're going to have different opinions in here, but when I defend you in the comments, there's no need for you to go to my moderator and say like, yeah, what you did was wrong. I timed you out, Trey. And if you have a problem with that, then you can handle that however you want to handle that. But I was the one that timed you out because you acted like a little kid and said, yeah, leave me alone. My moderators are my moderators for a reason. You seem to be more reasonable than most people who tend to skew black pill, but shaming works for a reason. And with that, I'm going to come to Miami J, because that seamlessly segues into this next topic that has everything to do with this. AD in the chat says slut shaming is actually mate guarding and a form of female competition. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's definitely a form of competition and virtue signaling on the part of women.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, that's very, very true. Very, very true.
I did want to ask, and if this throws the conversation off the rails, just
no, it's fine.
But is the crux of this argument born out of the fact that the feminist movement is born out of jealousy for men?
You know what? That's a good question, and I think that might have something to do with it. Because
feminists are always jealous of how we age better.
Yep.
We make more money.
Yep.
Et cetera, et cetera,
Yep.
et cetera.
Yep.
Is that the same stuff? Is the same argument here? We get to have sex. They are shameful.
Why do the guys get all the fun? This is interesting. And stay with me here, guys. And I'll get you guys' thoughts on this. I think the feminist movement is how can I put this? The feminist movement insults itself. And it's almost like a self-contradictory statement, because the feminist movement glorifies masculine traits. And so if you are a woman, you are indirectly saying that femininity is somehow bad, because feminism shames femininity. If you want to be a stay-at-home mom, if you want to be a Stepford wife, if you actually dress up for your man because, I don't know, he likes it, if you have sex with your man, if you don't feel like it, if you cook and clean for your man, feminists come after you. And so feminists really, by feminism existing, it lets us know that men, we really are superior. And the reason why we know that is because the very movement of feminism glorifies masculine traits. Feminists love men more than they would ever admit. And the reason why we know they love us is because they're always trying to imitate us. Miles, what are your thoughts on that?
Oh man, that's huge. Penis envy is rampant. Through
feminism. My God, you kidding me?
I'm telling you, like it's because we're so damn cool. You know what
I mean? That's what it is. Let's keep it real.
Sometimes I look at feminism, and any of us who's played like basketball or football when we were younger, do you remember the biggest, tallest, strongest looking dude always got hit the hardest?
Yes.
Always got like beat up. Everybody just took advantage of him because he thought, well, you're indestructible, so we can abuse you.
Yep.
Right?
Shaquille O'Neal went through that, didn't he?
Exactly.
They beat his ass.
The hack-a-shack and all that.
Oh my God, yeah. Yep.
A lot of that is what feminism is. It's women know that they can complain. Women know that they can beat up on men because we can take it. We are the stronger species.
That's right.
We like notice how when they're looking for the perfect man, there's a friggin' laundry list of things that they want.
That's right. That's right.
When we're looking for a woman, it's like 3 things we want.
Fit, feminine, friendly.
Feminine, friendly, fit, and
yeah, right. Sex, sandwich, silence, like any one of those 3, right?
Like look at all of us here. Look at all of us here. Like we're controlling shows.
Yep.
We got products. We got businesses. Really, what do we really need from a woman? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then on the flip side, it's like women need so much from us, and there's a part of them that is pissed off by that. You understand?
Yep, that's right.
Just from nature alone, they look at the fact that once we impregnate them, they're literally out of commission for 9 months, and we have to safeguard them.
Yes, sir.
They have to put their trust in us, even when they don't want to. You see what I'm saying?
Yep,
and
that's right.
That them off a lot, and so they have to rebel against it. And then, with that being said, a lot of these, backwards, double standards and labels like slut and stud and this, that, and the third. All of these things come up from that envy and from that, lack of ability to be able to stand alone from us. Because why would you have to call yourself an independent woman if you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, why would you need that label if you were actually independent? No, you're not. Your very existence is to be a symbiote.
Is to be a symbiote. That is literally that is the biological definition of a dependent for all of you geeks out there. Wow. Dude, symbiote, goddamn.
With that being said, it's a two-way street, because even when the child is born, the child becomes a symbiote of them. So
right.
They're the middleman. They are the center of interdependence.
Yep. Oh, wow. Yes.
Literally the center of it.
And they hate it. They hate it, and they hate us for it.
Right. They depend on us, and then the children depend on them. You see what I'm saying? So their entire existence just pisses them off, and then they look at us, and we are actually because no man runs around saying that, hey, I'm an independent man.
Of course not, because we are independent.
We are naturally independent.
Yes, of course. Yeah. But
I don't want to say too much and kill
you. No, you're okay.
I got a good reason to answer why they're so pissed off in a minute after Donovan.
Yeah, I was going to say, Devin and I recently, I'll make this quick. Devin and I recently watched a movie called Don't Worry, Darling. Very, very, very good movie. Red pill connotations all throughout. Devin said something to me during that movie that I had never thought of before. So clearly, and I don't want to give too much away, but it was basically a movie. It was 1950s America. The women were pretty, the men were handsome. They drank whiskey and smoked cigarettes, and I mean, like, this was like the golden era of human civilization here in the United States. Mm-hmm. Devin told me that she sometimes thinks that women envy a man's the male privilege of being able to sacrifice that much for your wife and kids. Women would love, like, because what men, and these are sacrifices that we willingly make because it's the way we're designed. But what she explained to me is that men, dude, we go out, we conquer the world, we fight dragons, and we civilize nations and all this other kind of stuff. We make so many sacrifices. We make so many compromises to make the lives of our loved ones comfortable that women would love to be able to have that same opportunity to be that noble, to be that selfless, to give of oneself for the greater good. But here, and I understood what she was saying, but this is what women have to understand. Women, ladies, you bring life into existence. You birth humans. That should be that should be enough. Not only do you have to shit the little fucker out, the kid doesn't sleep, he can't speak English, and he's not potty trained. You got to deal with that for, I don't know how long it takes to potty train kids. But women don't understand that the feminine role is every bit as important as the male role. It's unbelievable that feminism has told women that it is somehow reprehensible to be the feminine backbone of the family. Go ahead, Io.
No, I agree with that point completely. Okay, so something came to mind, and when Miles was talking, when he said they're so pissed, and I believe they're pissed because men actually believe what they say. Like, because they believe what they're saying, yes, they're mad because you actually believe that bullshit.
That's right.
Okay, so because what women are like fireworks displays, man. So, like in the fireworks display, it's like the end of the night, the last hurrah. It's like,
yeah.
And so what you need to do when a woman is telling you all that bullshit is just go, yeah, I know. Yeah. Whoa. Damn, that was nice. Whoa.
Word.
And you just need to be like, whoa. Wow. Yeah, how much you spend on that shit? Yeah, you need to just let them go like a fireworks display. And then what'll happen is after the fireworks are over, it calms down.
That's right.
The worst
she got all the kudos she wants.
Now you let her vent that, because she's always going to vent that. Women are always going to have that energy, that pent up energy, that jealousy, that wish that they could do. Look, women wish they could do what we do until we put them in position to do it. Now they want to go back to the kitchen.
Man, I'm trying to tell you. Go ahead.
Yeah. Listen. You put them on a skyscraper somewhere and say, "Hey, go clean them windows real quick," because we had a brother doing it last week. She'll get up there, she'll start crying, and that's what's going to happen. And so what I would tell men is that they're like fireworks displays. Let them vent, let them talk. They got pent up energy. They're jealous of their friends.
Yep.
There's a lot of stuff going on inside a woman. You don't want to take that from them necessarily, but you just want to let them go like the fireworks. And when it's done, she'll calm down. And now you redirect and you take the conversation where it needs to go.
I think the staunchest, most hardcore feminists are simply women who have never experienced the true male burden. They think they want it until they got it. Then when when they have the job, they've got the cars, they've got all the stuff, they realize, okay, so I wanted to be like a man and act like a man and this and that and the third, but women are not physically, mentally, or even spiritually designed to endure what men endure. Guess what? We're not designed to do what women do either. We can't have kids. We don't have a vagina. We don't have a birthing canal. And this is the thing. It's like men and women are not equal. Let's just go ahead but that's not the right statement. Men and women are not the same, but men and women are better together. There's nothing what men bring to the table in terms of sexual relationships is every bit as well. Traditional masculinity is every bit as important as traditional femininity. And if women understood just how powerful true femininity is, they would want to wield that power all the time. And you want to know who does know what the power of true femininity are? Sex workers. Because guess what? Sex workers, they're not going to work, dressed in cowboy boots or acting like men. Oh no, sex workers, strippers, escorts, they are as dude, I dated a lot of strippers, all of them bad mistakes. Those are some feminine fucking bitches. You better fucking believe it. When the money's on the line, they know exactly what. So women are always talking about, well, men want a boss bitch and they want a woman who's this and that and the third. That's not the image they portray on that pole. On the pole, they're displaying femininity, sexuality, the appearance of needing or wanting a man's attention. I think that these are all things that females do not understand. Women want to be men. They want that male burden of performance until they actually get it. Miami J, you had something?
Yeah, no, I was going to say they want it till they actually get it.
Yep.
So they want all the benefits of traditional masculinity without any other responsibility and without any other work.
Yeah.
When it comes down to it, they don't want to put in that work.
No, they don't. They're not capable of that. I guess we'll finish off with this last topic. For those of you who probably aren't aware, and most people probably are by now, a few nights ago, Alan Roger Curry passed away. And ARC, man, he is, a lot of people say that Rollo Tomasi is the godfather of the manosphere. And I believe that wholeheartedly. But Alan Roger Curry was out here running game before it was even called game. Like he was doing, you know what I mean? Like he was doing, like, I don't know, man. I'm sure there were other guys who were doing it, but ARC was the one, he was the one who actually monetized it. And so, I mean, it really is scary. RT the brand says, I hope dating coaches don't start dying like WWE wrestlers. It really appears that that's kind of what's happening. We lost Kevin Samuels earlier this year. We lost, and then of course we lost ARC. What are your thoughts on Alan Roger Curry, Everett?
You know, I actually respected that man a lot.
Yeah.
I actually enjoyed listening to him. Sometimes I would just have him on in the background just to listen to him rant and kind of go in on subjects. So I thought he was a very intelligent man too. He knew exactly what he was talking about. I agree with the Mode 1 approach. I do agree that you have to be direct. I actually tributed him. I did a tribute video to him 2 years ago where I talked about the Mode 1 approach, but not only just with women, but also with everything, with your health, with your finances, with your family, with your colleagues, your relationships, everything. You should be direct. Mode 1, and so it's a shame. One thing that occurred to me the other day was that he left a 2-year-old son behind.
Yeah, that's
young wife.
Heartbreaking.
One thing I will say is that if you're gonna have a family, if you want that, you might want to time that correctly.
Yeah.
And so A lot of guys in this space will say, you can have a baby when you're 72. Well, that would be quite unfair to your child to have a baby at 72. Yeah. You can't throw the ball. You can't teach them anything. You'll probably be dead pretty soon if you have a baby at 72. Probably.
Not to mention the fact that 72-year-old sperm is not the same quality as, say, 37-year-old sperm.
And old and stale. And so, so you need to freeze your sperm, guys. Just like you say, women need to freeze their eggs.
Yes, anyway, yes.
I will say this: one hell of a man, one hell of a teacher, and it's a shame. I wish he was still here, along with Kevin. Those were two dynamite personalities who were adding a lot of value. It's a shame he's not here, but I will tell you, you got to know when to leave a certain arena, and enter a new one. I won't be a dating advisor or doing this job into my 50s. I have a plan to be, I have another plan at 50.
Okay.
And it will actually hit probably at 45.
Okay.
So you got to know when to retire and go into something else.
Have to have an exit strategy.
Here, dealing with social media, it can be stressful if you don't know how to manage it. Oh my God,
Jesus fucking Christ.
It could take a toll on you emotional.
Oh, yes.
Then, Alan was kind of notorious for wanting to always protect, his Mode 1, which he should have in a way.
Of course.
Give the man recognition. If you're going to use his talking points, go ahead and give him recognition.
But that takes its toll,
really
man.
Bothered Alan.
Yeah,
that really bothered Alan. And it even bothers me sometimes.
Yeah.
There's certain things that I'll say and I'm like, okay, watch an episode. But I'm learning to kind of release that because it's not good for my health to hang on to that.
There you go.
So guys, I would just say this, and then I'll, thank you for letting me talk about Alan for a minute. But,
of course.
I really enjoyed the guy. He was intelligent. He was well-spoken. He was from Gary, Indiana, too.
Yes, he was.
Really close to where I grew up, actually. And
that's where Michael Jackson was from, too, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And so, hey, buy his book. Maybe buy some of his products right now. Maybe his family could use the.
They probably
the money
could
right now.
They probably could.
And if you're gonna have kids, guys, if you're going to have kids, life is about timing and preparation and seeing the future now and really building the future in the now, enjoying the now, but also knowing, okay, in 5 years I'm going to be here. In 10 years, I aim to be here. Things are subject to change. But if you think you want a wife, you think you want a family, you think you want that experience, the risks also. Don't go in without knowing the risks. That's why Donovan's channel is so effective too.
That's right.
And like Coach Greg Adams, he's very big on educating men and women. We all do it to some degree. But if you're going to do that, have the legs to do that.
Yes.
Don't go into it selfishly or like the fourth quarter trying to cram it in, because I don't think that's going to be very wise of you.
Very good. Very, very well said. Miles, so we've lost Kevin Samuels and Alan Roger Curry. They're both black men. And nobody knows what the autopsy is on ARC. We know what it was with Kevin. Kevin died. He died of hypertension. Hypertension is high blood pressure. That is a malady that has stricken many black people, more specifically black men, as we are much more susceptible to high blood pressure than most other people. What are your thoughts on Kevin and ARC passing, I guess, too soon?
Well, I have a lot of respect for both gentlemen, and more so ARC, mainly because ARC was one of the guys that kind of inspired Lucario and myself to even enter the market. And because ARC and certain other guys like Tariq Nasheed and guys like that have been around before. And no disrespect to anyone,
No, of course. But it is what it is.
These guys were around before what we now call the manosphere.
Right. Yes, they were.
We were on, even Lucario, we jumped in 2003.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that was right when it was starting.
Yeah, like YouTube was around for just maybe 2 or 3 years, and then we all we saw Tariq Nasheed, we saw Steve Dean, and we saw ARC, reciting passages from their books, and we didn't even think we could write books about game.
Right.
Those were the guys that did it first, and we was like, oh shit, you can write a book on this? Guys are interested enough to make a whole book on how to
or guys aren't getting laid? What? Yeah.
Let me calm down. But what I'm saying is, for real, we didn't even have an inkling that it was a market for guys having issues with women like that. You understand?
Yeah.
Because Yeah, because we were all, those type of guys who we spoke to the OGs. We went to the barbershop. Social media wasn't a thing, so we still had conversations between us as men in the neighborhood to figure out how to deal with life and how to talk to women and how to become men. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
But then when YouTube came on and we realized so many guys was doing this, and we looked at guys like ARC actually creating Mode 1 and writing books and doing video after video after video, and we was like, yo, he's still doing videos?
Yep.
Oh, there's something going on here.
Yep.
There's a movement. You understand? So it was guys like Kim that were literally, because we call Kevin Samuels the Godfather, right?
Right.
But it's guys like ARC that were literally the godfathers of like YouTube, game or dating or all of that stuff. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because remember, it was the PUA stuff that kind of helped it out as well. That was on MTV with like guys like Mystery and stuff like that. And then that kind of segue when YouTube came out, that philosophy kind of segued into the YouTube space, and which created, which had the guys like Tariq Nasheed, ARC, Steve the Dean, and Lucario at a later date, which and then that segued into the manosphere and everything like that, then the red pill and so on and so forth.
Right.
So literally, a guy like ARC, man, he was one of the founding fathers.
He was one of the OGs and OG.
Truly. And shout out to him, man, for doing everything he did, for seeing the future. Like EO just said, he saw the future at a certain point as far as this market and as far as this business and how far it could go. So shout out to him. And I don't know, and please, I could be wrong, but I heard somewhere that he was battling a certain type of cancer for a while.
Oh, now that I didn't know.
Right, for like it was like for about a decade, if I'm not mistaken. Again, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Please forgive me if I am. But this is just what I'm hearing, and I think that was a part of the reason why he decided to try to start a family, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
I don't know the details of his life, but I think that was a part of the reason why he kind of like said to himself, well, let me leave something behind.
Yeah.
So he got married, and then he he was blessed to have a child and so on and so forth. But yeah, man, shout out to ARC and shout out to guys like him that let us know that writing books and talking about this stuff in ad nauseum, right, was even possible. Like, there's actually a market for this. There's actually attention that needs to be put on this, which gave a lot of us opportunities today. So shout out to ARC, man. Alan Roger Curry, Mode 1, go get his books. He also has a few audio books on Audible, on Amazon. So just look up Alan Roger Curry. I think it's ALAN Roger Curry. So,
and it's not spelled like Stephen Curry. It's CURRIE.
CURIE. Yes,
Yeah,
exactly. So yeah, go look him up, man. Go support. He still has a family left. So yeah, go support. He's one of the founding fathers. So I appreciate you for bringing him up and everything.
Of course. Mac with the $10 super chat. I appreciate that very much. King Live with the $5 super chat says, I think you have to see the dark side of female nature in a short time in the field of dating, cheating, cheaters, pregnancies, false accusations, etc., etc. He says, I meant to say that's how you become jaded. Appreciate that very much, King Life. Mr. J with the $10 super chat says, men and women are better together. Truer words than never spoken, but many women think that they are the center of the universe. Have the power of the sign. Still on hot girl summer. Most, if not all, think they don't need a man. Yeah, we need a man we need men like fish need bicycles. When the power grid goes down, come and talk to me. Come and talk to me then.
Hey, you know what, Donovan? Can I say one thing about that last comment that I want guys to know?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
You guys got to go with women that admire you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because you're going with women, it sounds like, or you're going after women that don't want you.
Yeah.
And so this is how you're forming your opinions. Yep. But if you're actually going with women, or you're attracting women that admire you as a man, but again, you have to give them something to admire.
There you go.
And they might admire your look for a minute, But if you don't have anything going on for yourself, she has nothing to admire. She has nothing to learn, as Miles put it. We always say this, to learn from. And so, study your point of attraction. If you're going after women that don't want you, you will continually be frustrated.
Yeah.
But if you can attract a woman that actually wants you, that sees you as that shining star in her life.
Makes a difference.
And you'll notice she'll begin to worship you, man.
That's right.
So
that's exactly right.
That.
Good stuff. Guys, we are going to leave it there. Thank everyone for joining the panel. Shout out to Minister Jap. Hopefully he can recover. Happy belated birthday to him. Shout out to Miles, Coach EO. Shout out to Miami J. We are going to be making the transition. We're going to make the transition to, it's called Dating Dynamics. We put the link in the chat and in the description. I'm going to be on that show with Miami J. And what's the other guy's name? I always forget his name. Justin. Yeah, Justin. He's one of these guys who I think he understood the game before he found the red pill. We're supposed to have a girl on there to debate with us. That should be interesting. But thank you guys. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you everyone in the chat for taking the time to watch us today. Absolutely. We will see you guys next week. Take care.
Peace, guys. All right, take care, Donovan.